Welcome to the Alcohol Reset, the podcast that helps you reset your habits, health, and relationship with alcohol without judgment or extremes. If you're looking to cut back, take a break, or just understand how drinking can affect your body and mind, you're in the right place. Each episode brings you science-backed insights on neuroscience, nutrition, and habit change to help you feel better, sleep deeper, and take control on your terms. I'm Mike Hardenbrook, best-selling author, neuroscience enthusiast, and habit change expert. I've helped thousands through my book and podcast to rethink their drinking, and now I'm here to help you do the same. Let's get started.
You wake up after a night out, and the classic signs are all there. The pounding head, the dry mouth, that desperate need for water because it feels like your mouth is full of cotton. But there's another sign of dehydration that's much quieter, and most people barely think about it. Your eyes. That first moment when you open them the next morning and it feels like your eyelids are scraping across your eyeballs. Dry, foggy, scratchy, like sandpaper. Most people assume that feeling just means they're tired. They were out late, they didn't sleep enough, their eyes are just exhausted. But that's not actually what's happening. This isn't just fatigue. It's a very specific mechanical failure happening right on the surface of the eye. I'm Mike Hardenbrook, founder of Cloud9 and author of No Willpower Required. And today, we're unpacking why alcohol seems to attack your eyes so directly, and how understanding the actual biology can help you reduce that foggy, scratchy, dried-out feeling without needing to completely shut down your social life. To understand why your eyes feel awful the next morning, you have to start with the way alcohol affects your body's water regulation. Most people know alcohol dehydrates you, but it's not just because you're losing fluid in some vague general way. Alcohol actively interferes with the hormone system that controls hydration. Specifically, it suppresses a hormone called vasopressin. Vasopressin is also called antidiuretic hormone. Its normal job is to tell your kidneys to hold on to water, to reabsorb it, to conserve it. So under normal circumstances, your brain is helping your body maintain fluid balance. But when alcohol enters the system, that signal gets blocked. And once that happens, the kidneys stop conserving water the way they should. They start dumping it, which is why you end up urinating so much after drinking. And this is the strange part. Even if you're drinking something that contains a lot of water, like beer or wine, the alcohol inside it can still drive a net fluid loss. So you're taking liquid in while your body is flushing even more out. That creates a systemic hydration deficit. Now, if dehydration is happening throughout the whole body, why do the eyes feel it so intensely? Because your eyes depend on moisture constantly, not just when you cry, all day, every day. Your eyes produce what are called basal tears, which are the background tears that keep the surface of the eye healthy and functional. Those tears do several jobs at once. They keep the surface smooth, they deliver oxygen and nutrients, they wash away debris, and they allow light to enter the eye clearly. So when your body starts rationing water, it has to prioritize. And in that kind of biological triage, your heart, brain, and major organs win. Keeping your eyeballs perfectly lubricated becomes less urgent. So tear production starts to drop. And that's when the trouble begins. Because the surface of the eye is exposed to the air, it has no choice but to face the environment constantly. So when lubrication falls, the discomfort shows up fast. That's why your eyes can feel dry, scratchy, and raw after drinking. And it also explains why vision gets a little hazy. Because this is not just about comfort, it's also about optics. When the surface of the eye is properly coated, it stays smooth. Light moves through it cleanly. But when that moisture layer starts breaking down, the surface gets more uneven, and light scatters. That foggy vision people blame entirely on intoxication is not just happening in the brain. Part of it is physical. The surface of the eye itself is becoming less stable. But the real twist is this. It's not just that you have fewer tears. It's that alcohol also damages the structure of the tears you do still have. To understand that, you have to look at what a tear actually is. Most people think tears are basically just salt water, but they're not. Your tear film is a highly engineered 3-layer system. The innermost layer helps the tear stick to the surface of the eye. The middle layer is the watery part that provides moisture, oxygen, and nutrients. And the outermost layer is made of oil. That oil layer matters a lot. Its job is to stop the water underneath from evaporating too quickly. Think of it like a cover over a swimming pool. The water underneath is the tear layer. The oil is the protective seal that keeps it from disappearing into the air. And alcohol interferes with that too, because the tiny oil glands in your eyelids, called the meibomian glands, are affected by alcohol-related inflammation and disrupted lipid metabolism. So even if your body can still produce some of the watery part of the tear, the protective oil layer becomes thinner, patchier, and less effective, which means moisture escapes faster. So now you have two problems at once. You're producing less tear fluid, and the tear fluid you do produce evaporates faster. That's why your eyes can feel so exposed, so unprotected. And once the eye loses that protective film, irritation starts building fast. That irritation triggers inflammation, and alcohol adds another layer by causing vasodilation, which means your blood vessels widen. That's why your face can flush after drinking, but it also affects the tiny blood vessels on the surface of the eye. And because those vessels sit against the white backdrop of the sclera, they become incredibly visible. That's where the classic bloodshot look comes from. So, by this point, you've got dryness, faster evaporation, irritation, inflammation, and visible redness all happening together. And then there's behavior, because alcohol also changes how you blink. Blinking is part of how your eye spreads tears evenly across the surface. Every blink helps redistribute moisture and squeeze a little oil out from those meibomian glands. But when you drink, your blink rate can subtly decrease. And then, if you add screens into the mix, it gets worse. When people stare at their phones, blink rate can drop dramatically. So now, imagine the typical night out. You've been drinking, your tear film is already weaker, and now you're staring at a bright screen in a dark room or scrolling in bed afterward. You're blinking less, spreading less moisture, letting more evaporation happen. It's the perfect setup for waking up with that sandpaper feeling. And sleep doesn't save you the way people think it will. Because alcohol may knock you out, but it disrupts real restorative sleep, especially REM sleep. And REM is important for eye recovery too. That's part of when your system restores moisture balance, repairs tissue stress, and resets. So if alcohol cuts into that recovery window, you wake up with the dryness and irritation still sitting there unresolved. And some people feel this much more intensely than others. Contact lens wearers are one of the biggest groups, because a contact lens sitting on the dry eye makes the whole situation more abrasive. People with naturally dry eyes are at higher risk too, and anyone drinking close to bedtime is more likely to get hit harder, because the alcohol is still disrupting sleep while their eyes are trying to recover. So, what do you actually do with all this? First, hydrate before and during drinking, not just after. Second, take screen breaks and consciously blink if your eyes start feeling dry. Third, if you wear contacts, take them out before bed, no exceptions after drinking. And fourth, support the system that's under strain. Alcohol doesn't just dry you out, it also burns through resources your body uses for recovery. That includes nutrients involved in energy production and antioxidant defense. This is part of why formulas like Daily Restore can help support the next day, because ingredients like B vitamins and compounds that support antioxidant pathways help your body recover from that stress load more efficiently, not as a magic fix, and not as a substitute for hydration or sleep, but as support for the biology underneath the symptoms. Because once you understand what's happening, you stop treating it like random misery. You realize your eyes are not just tired, they're sending a clear signal about hydration, inflammation, and recovery. And maybe that's the bigger takeaway here. How many of the everyday discomforts we call normal, dry eyes, brain fog, random aches, low energy, are really just your body asking for basic maintenance? I'm Mike Hardenbrook. Thanks for being here. I'll catch you in the next session. Take care of yourself.
That's a wrap for today's episode. If you got something out of this, do me a quick favor, leave a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. It helps keep the show going and would mean the world to me. Got ideas, comments, or questions? Shoot me an email at mike@trycloud9.com. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're looking for extra support, check out Cloud9, makers of Daily Restore, a once-a-day supplement to support your body from alcohol's effects, and Rise and Unwind AM/PM, a 24-hour combo to curb cravings, balance mood, and improve sleep when taking a break. Go to trycloud9.com and use the code PODCAST to save 15% on your next order. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.